amazing.
Yeah. Last year was pretty record-setting in that regard. That is fair. Right, that's our team by team. Look out for the blog post. Like I say, we'll have a bit more. You'll be able to see all the names of all the players. We've alluded to a few of the moves, but not gone through them all. And we'll list all the squads for you and all that sort of stuff. That'll be up before the season starts, probably at the weekend after you've listened to this. Because I haven't finished it yet. But now we're going to have a quick breather, and then we're going to finish off with a bit of fun with the Say What predictions. Okie dokes. The Say What predictions are what we sort of term kind of the possible but unlikely, the plausible but entertaining, that sort of thing. You know, straddling that balance between probably never going to happen, but wouldn't it be nice if it did, or wouldn't it be weird if it did, that sort of stuff. So, we've all made, each of us three have made a Say What prediction that we're going to share with you now. So, Alan, do you want to share yours first?
Yeah, I've gone for there'll be no game postponed or any cancellations.
Do you know what? This is a Say What based on the last 2 years, but the 48-0 that you'll get if you cancel a game means that hell or high water, there ain't going to be that many cancellations.
I'd still be amazed if there isn't one.
Probably Catalan when they have to play someone hard.
23 games they played last year. 21 St. Helens played. Weird that.
My prediction is that after a particularly tough start to the season, Mark throws in the towel and joins the mighty Saints army.
Yeah, I'll join you at the Good Friday game and enjoy the revelry and the rivalry, but other than that, no. I've just gone the same as last year, given the World Cup didn't happen. I've gone with some rule confusion between the NRL and Super League rules and the international rules will create a major talking point in the knockout stages of the Rugby League World Cup and give everyone a reminder that these things need to be unified. I also added another one, though, this time. I said I've also gone with that, and Lee will sack their coach and half their players after a bad start to the season. That kind of tells you why I think Featherstone may be a little bit more for the league than them in the Championship. But yeah, they've thrown up some talking points there. Right, we had quite a lot of World Cup based Say Whats. We're going to whiz through these. Al, do you want to give us the first one?
Yeah, so Steve Clark says, England to win the World Cup, home advantage to play a big part. A tie-in video game would be great as well. It's a huge year for rugby, and I'm looking forward to it.
Very positive stuff from Steve Clark there. Is Alan Walker as positive with his World Cup base Say What?
It's certainly very interesting. Tonga to win the World Cup after the Aussies lose their rag in the final. France beat the Kiwis in the third place playoff. I love that. That's a great prediction, Alan.
That's good. It's normally Fiji that beat the Kiwis, isn't it? Right, I've got some quick fire ones, so I'm just going to roll through the next 5 or 6 myself, quick fire. Paul Max at _78 said, England losing the quarterfinals of the World Cup as Samoa go on to win the whole thing. Ian Wright, not that one, I think, says England to win the World Cup. Mike Webb says Tonga to win the World Cup, but Christian Wolf still doesn't win Coach of the Year. No, because we're all falling asleep. Tim Appleton says Tonga to win the World Cup. Richard Huddart says an island nation will win the World Cup. Which could include England, sort of, couldn't it? Rules out. In fact, it only rules out France.
Yeah, it does.
And the USA. They're not even in it. No, it only rules out France and Greece.
Yeah, but Greece has got loads of islands.
Oh, wait. Lebanon as well is ruled out, isn't it?
Yeah, that's not an island.
Anyway. No, we know what he means. Josh Clark says England to win the World Cup. Ian says England to win the World Cup. And Brendan Loftus says Samoa to win the World Cup. What did Lee Whitnell have to say on the World Cup, Alan?
Yeah, so Lee Whitnell says, with global travel still an issue, Australia recruit a squad of UK-based players for the World Cup. A team featuring Adam Hills, Kylie Minogue and a koala from Chester Zoo, which go on to narrowly beat England in the final. Probably with an ankle tap, I would imagine.
I should have put that last because that'll take some beating. But Neil Ulster's got a good effort as well, hasn't he, David?
He has an excellent website dedicated to rugby league stats to be publicly released. The Aussies to reluctantly turn up for the World Cup, only to be turned over by the lapdog New Zealand. England to have a golden opportunity to win it, only to choke in the semi-final against Tonga. And Christian Wolf still doesn't win Coach of the Year.
He definitely doesn't win Neil's Coach of the Year, does he? Is slipped in a little thing there to make sure we talk about it. We will, Neil. The Rugby League Record Keepers Club website is now up to date in the summer era. So basically, it will be updated weekly. So if you're a member of the Rugby League Record Keepers Club, you can already benefit from that. You'll be able to see stats getting added to for players weekly now. They're working very hard on the international stuff as well at the moment and doing a little bit of tidying up of some players who might have appeared for England but not Britain and that likewise, that sort of stuff. They're doing a bit of that, but the international stats are very much solid as well on the Record Keepers Club website. So as this year goes along, they're going to be able to, once we've made sure that it works, this live update in each week, it'll be then freely available. So, it'll rival our great friends over at Rugby League Project. Certainly, obviously not for the NRL stuff, they're the kings, but for the Super League based, English based stats, the Record Keepers Club will be freely available as well after, as this year goes along, which is great news for everyone, I think. We had a few say what's that talked about the Channel 4 deal. Obviously, we're all quite excited to see the Channel 4 offering as it starts on Saturday, the 12th of February. Do you want to tell us what Nick Chidlow had to say, Alan?
Yeah, so Super League becomes massive on Channel 4 and Boris privatises the channel and bans all further coverage. Ralph continues to tread water for another year and the new NRL franchise the Dolphins to hoover up any decent Aussies from our game when they fail to muster enough signings back home.
That's pretty bloody comprehensive, isn't it?
They've got more players than Cornwall, haven't they? No. They actually haven't, but they've got a year yet. What did Bob Phillips have to say, David?
Roberto says Channel 4 coverage turns into a runaway success and clips of tries get to be the greatest impact, I don't know, something called TikTok? What are you talking about, Bob, in 2022?
Well, Bob knows how to make an impact on TikTok. Just want to see his dancing.
Down with the kids.
Andrew Lum says, Rugby League will be a massive hit with the TV audience of Channel 4. Millions of people will be glued to their seats for an England win at the World Cup, where we will beat Australia with a last-minute drop goal. So yeah, Channel 4 coverage will have a positive success in the social media sphere and on the metrics of the TV audiences too, but not for Ralph. Oh no, yeah, Ralph will be fine for another year. Right, some other favourites now. This is where we get a bit more off the beaten track. Rich Wilkinson says, the RFL and Super League appoint Prince Andrew to become the Royal Ambassador for English Rugby League. Yeah, stupider things have happened. Who's next, Alan?
Fatboy Rob says, Powell dead to me. To get the sack before the end of April. Radders to get knighted. Jake Truman and Danny Richardson become the poster boys of the 4th and 5th booster champs. Hull FC will field an entire team of under-12s due to the COVID outbreak and still nil leads.
There's more chance that Lawrence Fox had immunity before last week than Jake Truman being a booster boy. Who's next? Who's next, David?
Do I have to read this one out?
Yes. Yes.
So, David Archer, be shamed, man. Saints to be docked 60 points after it's finally proved how much they've been cheating all these years. Talk about bitters. Anyway, never mind. Moving swiftly on to Rich.
Rich Langley says, Super League to go the whole year with no embarrassing off-field transgressions by players or officials. Brackets, this applies only once the season kicks off.
There's even provisos in this. What? Joshua's granddad, with his long-standing beef. FC to win a game involving the Liam Moore-Chris Kendall combo.
Right, we need that fact checking as well. If anyone keeps stats on touch judges and referee combos, I bet they've won when those two have been involved.
Definitely.
Paige says Tom to only stick. Oh, right, it was yours this one, but I'm doing it now, David. Paige says Tom to stick to only one man crush for the season.
Oh, bit of a dig there.
It's going to be cute, isn't it?
Indeed.
It's going to be cute because he'll have extra time to like worship him. Them 2 minutes where he's going to be stood on the sideline right in front of him.
You've got a thing going, haven't you? Tom says Gale and the Grub, shit detective names, have a fight amongst themselves on the pitch. That's possible.
I would say even likely.
I think Gale and the Grub is more likely to be like a radio, like a shitty commercial radio breakfast combo than a detective combo. Hey, it's Gale and the Grub.
That sounds like a more of a radical country band to me, Gale and the Grub. So there you
go. Paul Caswell says Lee Radford to get locked out of the cast dressing room 6 games in.
That was the Radford one I was thinking of when we were talking about Cass.
Adam says the NRL to take over Super League and run the game properly. Huge investors will realise that football is money laundering scheme and invest it in rugby league instead. Like you're thinking, Adam.
Neil McEwen says grand final night on a stormy September night in Manchester. Scores tied at 24-24. Williams breaks a tackle and looks to go under the sticks to win the match in the 79th minute until he's struck by a bolt of lightning and charcoaled with only a smoky set of bright yellow boots remaining. Well, we can dream.
Matt Speakman says Toulouse will beat at least one of the big teams away from home. Ken Davey will beat Bernard Gouache for the chairman most spotted by the Sky Cameras award.
Sean Lawless says Sam Burgess signs for Salford in June. It's much more likely to be Warrington, isn't it? Come on. In a last-minute attempt to make the World Cup squad.
I tell you what, Toulouse might be sniffing. David Lawrenson says St Helens will get relegated and not win a game all year. Brackets other than Wigan away.
And the last one from Ian Gatwood saying fans won't blame the officials for their team's loss and will just accept they got beaten fair and square by the better side on the day. Bollocks.
We said like at least a little bit believable, Ian. Come on.
God almighty. What's the man thinking?
Right, well we'll let those sink in for a few seconds for you guys, and then we'll be back to just wrap things up and tell you what to expect in the future from us this year. Right, good stuff, guys. Well, I miss Sarah. I did miss Sarah. I think she could have made some cutting remarks there that we've missed out on. But we'll have her throughout the year to do that, so that's going to be totally there for us. So expect. She basically just likes Hull FC and sort of doesn't hate Salford. So that's for any uninitiated in Sarah's ways. If you've listened this far, if you're a new listener, then well done though. By the way, normally at this time of the show we kind of go a bit off topic and that sort of stuff and talk about things we've been doing outside of watching rugby league. We're gonna not do that this week because we've talked enough, but we'll have our recommendations and all of the normal kind of bits and pieces and the quiz and stuff like that. We'll be looking to bring that back next week. One thing we will be doing a bit different this year is obviously Tuesday night's our main recording night, so look out for the podcast late on Tuesday, early on Wednesday. Figure out the time in the rest of the world, but that's when you'll be getting your hit. We're gonna focus as much as we can on the match review, so we need you guys to give us loads of match reviews. What we're going to probably do is, the way we'll do the news stories is any team related news stories will fit in with the match reviews section, so it'll only be like big sport defining news stories that we'll pick out as a topic of serious debate and discussion, but otherwise to hopefully make it flow a little bit better through the match reviews, that they're the main focus, because that's our USP really compared to all the other great rugby league podcasts out there. So look for maybe a slight change in format. If it doesn't work, we'll go back to what we were. Probably pay a little bit less attention to the NRL as well this year, because there's several thousand NRL podcasts. Well, there's loads, isn't there?